way we play is embarrassing. I told you guys, it's embarrassing the way we play. And I'm the head coach of this embarrassing group of guys. Allow 2 kickoff returns. Defensive backs won't turn around and look for the ball when they lob it down the field. In 3 deep, they throw it off the 2-yard line. Our kid lets a guy run right by him. It's embarrassing, but we are who we are. We're not a very good team, but we're 3-1 somehow, and we got all the voters fooled, thinking we're pretty good. I guess because we beat Georgia. But anyway, I don't know exactly what all can help this team. I really don't. We thought we coached our butts off all week, and we could look like a decent team. And of course, they run the opening kickoff back. So I'm taking over kickoff coverage. I told Coach Joe Robb, I'm not going to watch him anymore. I'm going to take it. If we have to pooch it on the ground, which was pretty good for us. That grounder was pretty good, but maybe we found something Landon can do better than anybody in the country, that grounder, because it took a funny hop every time. It was sad. We just kept running right by the kickoff return guy, and he just split us just about every time, I guess. But anyway, it was discouraging, but it is what it is. We have to almost score a touchdown every time, or we're going to get our butts beat somehow or another, it seems like. And fortunately, we were able to score a bunch. Guys hit some passes. Dylan had a few good ones here and there, missed a couple here and there, missed some long balls. Pharaoh Cooper had a heck of a game. He got a game ball, 10 catches, and that long run there at the end that I thought put it away. But when Dylan snuck it in, I said, that was a mistake. We should have taken about 3 downs to try to sneak that thing in. There was 4 minutes left, and we only had a 14-point lead. So I was nervous, but fortunately they didn't recover the kick, or they would have scored, like they did in 30, 45 seconds, wherever it was, and they'd been onside kicking to go tie the game. So that was a mistake on my part, letting him score with 4 minutes left in the game. So I'll try to get smarter in the future, and hopefully we can get better. But it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing when we played. All right, any questions?
All right, what's going on, everyone? This is CT with my 2014 South Carolina versus Missouri. This Saturday, I believe it's the night game, and this is going to be an interesting game. And as we heard Spurrier just say, he is not impressed at all with this team. And man, you gotta love Steve Spurrier. And the reason I played that is because I don't think some people appreciate how cool Steve Spurrier really is. The dude just keeps it real to the max, and you gotta respect someone like that, man. Steve Spurrier is my favorite football coach of all time. He's so blatantly honest, and he's a great coach. He's a legend, and you gotta respect that, man. And he's really is disgusted by the way this team plays or is playing right now, and he wouldn't say that if he didn't feel that way. When he says that, some people may think that it's crossing the line a little bit, and maybe a little disrespectful to his players and his coaching staff. But I mean, he's earned that right to do this, and if he doesn't like the way his team's playing, he has every right to say that. And he clearly is embarrassed by the way the team has played. Especially in the Vanderbilt game, I guess, is really when he. This is probably the most I've seen him, talk like that. But, anyways, we got 2 teams who are coming off of a game in which they did not play well at all, and fortunately, South Carolina, they came out with the win, and Missouri. Unfortunately did not, and they lost to Indiana on a last second touchdown drive. And Missouri, I was never high on them coming into this year. I thought they were way overrated. I don't think they're a top 25 team at all. I think they're probably the second worst or third worst team in the SEC East, and probably actually in the whole entire SEC. Actually, I think them and Kentucky will, be a good game. I think they're pretty even right now, and that's no disrespect to either team because Kentucky has gotten a lot better. And Missouri, they this was an interesting game last year as Missouri missed that field goal, doinked right off off the uprights. So and with them coming off a loss and remembering that game last year, they are going to come fired up, and it's really going to depend on how South Carolina plays. I think is going to dictate how this game goes. And I'll go ahead and say I do like South Carolina to win this game. I think they're wildly inconsistent right now, but I think Dylan Thompson, he has played, except for that first game, he's played pretty well ever since. He played really well. I think he grew up in that Georgia game, and the offense wasn't the reason that they struggled against Vanderbilt last week. It's the defense that's really hurting them, and the special teams killed them as well, as you heard Spurrier say. 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown, which was just poorly covered kickoffs, and I don't see that type of thing happening. If you take those plays out, then that score line for the Vanderbilt game doesn't look nearly as close. And I think that they need to they need to figure out maybe try a different scheme or something on defense, because even against Georgia, who was a very good offense, they played well, but there were still a lot of mistakes in that game made by Georgia, which helped the defense of South Carolina out a lot. And Missouri has a good offense, but not as good as I think some people think. Matty Mock is good. He's played pretty well so far, but he's not. I think he's kind of equivalent to James Franklin last year. Very similar type players, and he's the key to the team, just like James Franklin was last year. I think they need to use his legs more than they have been, because he's mobile, and they need to bring that to the offense if they're going to become more dynamic. And the young receivers have performed pretty well so far. They lost Dorial Green Beckham and what's the other guy's name? I can't even remember. Um, Man, he was on the Panthers uh, earlier in the year or in the offseason. He didn't make the team. He got cut. But regardless, and their defensive ends have played well. I want to say one got injured, though, against Indiana. I can't remember which one it was. But, yeah. I didn't make a recap of the Indiana-Missouri game, but I think a big reason why they lost that game is because Indiana and Missouri play 2 very similar styles. So Indiana was really prepared for what Missouri was going to do on offense, and vice versa. So it made for a really evenly played game. But that's a really disappointing loss for Missouri, man, because Indiana, they lost to Bowling Green the previous week, and it's just that was not a good look for them. And this game is huge for Missouri. If they lose this game, I really think Missouri is going to really, their season is going to go downhill, and that's unfortunate. But I mean, if you look at all the players they lost, it's really not that surprising. They've recruited pretty well. I think they got some young talent, but I don't think this is the year for it to really shine. I think they're a year or 2 away from really being back to where they were last year. And I've said before, they benefited last year from a lot of injuries in the SEC East, to Florida, to Georgia. Yeah, they lost to South Carolina, and but they were a really good team. But I'm just saying the injuries made things a lot easier for them in the East. Um, and for South Carolina, Mike Davis, he hasn't looked like the same Mike Davis from last year. I know he hasn't played horribly, but I really thought he was going to be a big time player, and I actually thought he may outperform Gurley this year, but it hasn't been the case so far. I'm not sure how healthy he is. it looked to me like he's gained weight, but someone was saying that it was just his extra padding he's wearing on his torso to protect his ribs, I guess. But I don't know. He doesn't look as fast either, so I think that's part of it. But who knows? He needs to have a big game here. This is going to be a really good game, I think, and I see this one going down to the wire. It's not going to be a blowout by any means, and two teams who really need a win. And the loser of this game, I think, is really going to struggle the rest of the year, and the winner will, I think, end up having a pretty solid season. So big game here. I'm going to go South Carolina, um, 30, no, yeah, 38, Missouri 35. And thanks for watching. This is CT. I'll see y'all next time.